Hey there, my name is Sherri Ingle with the Rising Tide team at Intracoastal Realty. And whenever you're buying property, I wanted to let you know there are things that you can negotiate. So just because you see the price doesn't mean that's the price you pay. So what can you negotiate when you're buying property? Well, the first one is the price. For what I do for a living, I love to negotiate. As a matter of fact, I negotiate about everywhere I go. So don't be scared to negotiate. Of course, you've got to have the facts. You've got to have the data to back it up. But certainly, price is one thing we do negotiate. Next are repairs. So you get a house under contract, you do a home inspection, and sometimes the seller may not realize that they've got moisture in the crawl space. They may have a leak underneath the master sink they didn't realize, little things like that. So after we do a home inspection, pest inspection, sometimes a roof inspection, sometimes a HVAC inspection, just depending on what comes up, we can certainly ask the seller to fix those items or possibly give us a small concession to help make those repairs. So that's another thing we get to negotiate. All right, the next one is time to close. So you just never know what a seller's time frame looks like. It's all about communication. I've seen many times that a quick close works best for the seller, and if that works for the buyer and the lender can do it, or if it's cash, we can make it happen. And sometimes a seller may have the next home they're going to is not going to be ready for a couple of months, so they may be willing to have the buyer close on the property and rent it back for a month or two until their home's ready. There's all kinds of different ways to put a deal together. So closing dates can be flexible and negotiated out as long as the terms fit everyone. All right, the next thing are closing costs. Typically, first-time homeowners like to ask for closing costs. Not always, but first-time homeowners may not have the cash on hand that people that are further along in their careers may have tucked away. So closing costs are things that we can ask for. Different loans allow for different closing costs. So sometimes there's a percentage that is the max that you can do. But typically, if you're looking at a $250,000 home, you can ask for maybe $4,000 or $5,000 in closing cost. Keep in mind that number comes off the net of the seller. So if you offer $250 and you're asking for $5 in closing costs, they're really netting $245 minus their other fees. So you kind of sometimes want to, you may want to offer more than list price depending on if it's a competitive situation. So again, that's why you need an agent to help you walk through all that. All right, what's next? What else can you negotiate? Well, sometimes decor is what I'm going to. Sometimes you are walking through a house and you may be in love with the dining room table, and the seller could be downsizing. They could be going from a 3,000 square foot home to a 1,500 square foot home, and there's just not room for a large dining room table, and they may be willing to throw it in with the right price. So you can always ask. The answer can be no. If it's sentimental, of course they'll say no, but sometimes they'll say yes, and it's perfect for them because they were going to have to get rid of it, and they would much rather someone enjoy it in their home or their former home than sell it at a garage sale where they won't get much for it. So just keep in mind, decor can be negotiated, and sometimes it's fantastic for both parties, and sometimes everybody can't agree. Don't let that stop a sale, but decor can be negotiated. All right, what else can be? How about house cleaning? When a seller moves out of a property, there's always a final walkthrough with the buyer's agent and the buyer. And it is expected for it to be swept clean. However, sometimes if someone's been in a home for 30 years, you can imagine it needs to really be cleaned. And I'm talking every drawer, every baseboard, every window, everything. So sometimes we negotiate house cleaning. So if that's something, if you're looking at a house that you feel like if they've had a lot of pets and you're allergic to pets or whatever the case could be, you can certainly ask for the seller to have it professionally cleaned before you move in. And the last thing, not the last thing, but one of the last things that you can negotiate is a home warranty. That is something the seller pays for. It would cover all the major systems for 1 year. And that would be, you would have to pay a service fee for the vendor to come out, but that's all you'd have to pay. So let's say your HVAC has an issue, you call the home warranty company and they connect you with an HVAC company. They come out, you pay, typically it's $100, it could be $75. You pay the service fee, and then whatever's wrong with the system, they will repair it within the terms of the agreement. So a home warranty is something that is definitely worth asking for if you're buying a home that the systems are 3, 4, 5+ years old. It kind of helps protect everybody along the way. So keep all that in mind, that everything's negotiable, and I'm certainly here to help you through that process as you're buying and or selling a home. Thank you.